I used to be the king of procrastination. I would put everything off until the very last minute, causing me more stress and anxiety than I ever thought possible. I was constantly overwhelmed and I felt like I was always playing catch up. In college, I would put off my assignments until the very last minute, every single time. And because I was not good at keeping a calendar, I would miss deadlines a lot. I created a 5-step plan that effectively has really helped me eliminate procrastination. It's helped reduce my stress levels and made me more productive than I'd ever been before. So the first thing is to have clarity. Without clarity, it's really difficult to focus on a task and develop a plan to complete it. Like I said, when I was in college, I struggled with procrastination more than anyone. I was so overwhelmed with my workload that I couldn't even begin to get started. I was in a constant cycle of just pushing things off to the last minute because I thought that when the game was on the line and something was due the next day, then it would just force me to get it done. And I would just turn on that Kobe mindset and just bang it out. And I was like, all right, it's nothing to worry about. I realized that if I wanted to break the cycle of procrastination, then I had to get very clear on my goals. So the first thing I did was I created a schedule for myself. I wrote down a list of all the tasks that I needed to complete that day and the amount of time I was going to dedicate to each one of them. And then I made sure I held myself accountable for completing each task. This allowed me to check things off my list, and I felt a wave of accomplishment when doing that. And that plan of clarity really helped break my cycle of procrastination over time. Clarity also reduces stress, which is one of the main components of procrastination. So when it comes to achieving clarity, you really want to be specific about your goals and how you're going to accomplish them, and make sure that they are reasonable and actionable and time sensitive. It's also important to identify potential roadblocks that could get in the way of you completing those tasks. So I had to sacrifice getting drunk on a Wednesday and going to the library and getting my stuff done, so I didn't prolong it until Sunday night, and when I was too stressed and overwhelmed to even get it done, or I would just do a really terrible job. When I was in college, I was always juggling like a full course load, like 18, 21 units, internship, extracurricular activities, sports, fraternity, all sorts of stuff. And I was doing just everything at once. I felt like I was always procrastinating and never actually getting anything done. That's when I realized that the key to tackling all of that stuff was prioritizing what was most important and what needed to get done when. This is when I really got serious about actually calendaring, because before I would just kind of just remember everything in my head and think I got this, and that was just ignorance. I thought that I was too cool and could remember everything, but that wasn't the case. So calendaring allowed me to actually remember those things and have an actual deadline on when I had to get them done, and really make that the point focus of kind of my day-to-day routine. When I saw that something was due on a Friday, I would tell myself that I have to actually get it done by Wednesday. I would always give myself a 2-day buffer on that deadline. So I would move it 2 days actually on the calendar than it was actually due in reality. This buffer gave me a little bit of wiggle room, so if something did go wrong, I'd still have a little bit of time and I wouldn't be as stressed. And so by prioritizing my tasks and scheduling my time, I was able to effectively get more done and not procrastinate. So use this method to prioritize all your responsibilities, because knowing what to do and when to do it is really essential. I'm sure it's obvious by now that my procrastination really hit a peak in college. When I started my freshman year, I had this grand vision of what I wanted to accomplish during those next 4 years. I had this big vision of graduating with honors and starting my own business and doing as much as I effectively could. But as that semester went on, I found myself just getting caught up in the day-to-day struggle and not really working towards those things at all. It was only when I really started to focus on the big picture that I was able to break my procrastination habit. I started to break down my long-term vision into smaller, achievable goals. This allowed me to plan out my days and my weeks so I could work towards those goals instead of just looking at one long road with a big end goal in sight and having no idea how I was going to end up there. I started to use rewards and incentives to motivate myself to keep working towards those goals and moving forward. I had to stop settling for short-term ego boosts and really look at the big picture and the long-term goals and delay that gratification. And that helped develop that discipline to stop procrastinating. This gave me something to work towards and provided a bigger reason than just knocking out tasks. These achievable milestones I'm applying right now with my YouTube channel. I'm working in bits and pieces to develop a portfolio of great videos for you guys, and looking at the big picture of achieving 100,000 subscribers, whatever, and not being overwhelmed at that goal right now, but focusing on the journey and breaking that down into smaller achievable steps, like getting my first 1,000 subscribers. And this approach has allowed me to stay focused and motivated on my goals and achieve those set deadlines that I've created for myself to get videos out. For the longest time, I was spending countless hours just scrolling through my phone, watching mindless videos, and putting off tasks that I had to do. I was frustrated and I felt like I was wasting my life, but yet I continued to do this. But about a year ago, I discovered the Pomodoro Method. It has changed the way I work and has really helped in beating my procrastination. Pomodoro Method is a time management method that breaks down tasks into 25-minute intervals. During each interval, you focus on one particular task. After each interval, you take a 5-minute break. This way, you can focus on completing your tasks in small bursts instead of trying to do every single thing at once. This works for me because it helps me from getting overwhelmed and discouraged in my tasks. And it's a lot easier to stay focused when I know I have a break coming up. I really enjoy doing this when writing. I'll set a timer for 25 minutes and I will just write that whole time until the timer goes off. After the timer goes off, I will take a 5-minute break, relax, and I will do this for 3 more cycles. And then after those 4 cycles, I'll take a 15 to 30-minute break. This method has allowed me to break down larger tasks into smaller ones that I could just hyper focus on one at a time. I used to be so caught up in deadlines and tasks that I was just spinning my wheels. Felt like I was just constantly running out of time and that no matter what I did, it was never enough, and I just found myself procrastinating. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that time is your most valuable asset and you need to know how to use it wisely. To make the most of it, you really need to prioritize tasks and set realistic goals. And identifying all the things in your life that are taking up a lot of your time and causing you to procrastinate and find ways to avoid them. Time management is just such a key factor in your success, and it's just really important to use it wisely. A great example of this is someone like The Rock, who's coming out with a new movie every other week, and you're just thinking, how in the world are they doing that? Like, how is that possible? Is there like 15 of them? And bro's in the gym like 13 hours a day. It just doesn't even make sense. But love him or hate him, that guy knows how to manage his time properly. Yes, he's got a lot of outside help, but he has the same 24 hours in the day that we do, and you can see how much he's getting done. Breaking the habit of procrastination isn't easy to do. It takes a lot of time, but it takes a lot of mental awareness to identify why you're procrastinating, what's holding you back, and then setting actionable goals and trying to work up to becoming a powerhouse of productivity. If this information brought you value, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe. And if you like this video, you'll definitely like the next one coming up here, so definitely check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.